release of the latest Netflix TV series, Heera Mandi, The Diamond Bazaar, in May 2024 stirred up a heated controversy between India and Pakistan. Set in the Mughal British era, the show depicts a group of courtesans who entertain men through singing, dancing, and engaging in conversation. Many people in Pakistan believe that the series overemphasizes the area's connection to the sex trade. They also think that Hindus are propagating the idea that polygamy and the practice of keeping women for sexual purposes were introduced to the region by the Muslim Mughal rulers, thereby causing disrespect towards Muslims. This controversy prompted an in-depth exploration of the true nature of this red light district. Heera Mandi was a historic red light district in Lahore, Pakistan, that was renowned for its courtesans, dancing girls, and traditional music and dance performances. The term Heera Mandi carries a significant historical connotation. Scholars from Lahore, aware of the history, argue that the name is derived from Heera Singh, a governor of the area during Sikh rule. Before this, it was called Shahi Muhalla, a royal neighborhood. However, the clever use of the word Heera, which translates to diamond in English, subtly suggests that Heera Mandi signifies a diamond dancing girls' market. In its prime, Heera Mandi was renowned for its skilled performers, proficient in various traditional forms of music and dance, such as classical music, mudra, a traditional form of dance, and other cultural performances. The area was a favorite haunt of the nobility and the elite, who sought entertainment and social interaction. However, the passage of time, societal and cultural shifts, and the onslaught of modernization have impacted the significance and reputation of Heera Mandi. Today, it remains a bastion of some traditional arts and performances, but it has also been subjected to criticism and challenges due to evolving attitudes, legal constraints, and efforts to mitigate the exploitation of individuals involved in the sex trade. This blog explores the historical presence of areas such as Heera Mandi, designated for women within imperial palaces across various Eastern and Western civilizations. These areas are commonly known as harems, a term derived from the Arabic word hurmat, meaning chastity and sacred. In Persian, these palaces are called andruni, or inside. In the Indian subcontinent, they are referred to as zanana, or female. However, researchers have discovered that such traditions existed before the advent of Islam and were notably absent in the Roman and Greek empires. Although pharaonic Egypt had quarters for women and children, these were not isolated spaces like harems. Referring to these quarters as harems is a common misconception, as earlier Egyptian practices differed from later Islamic Arab cultures. Intriguingly, Near Eastern and Chinese cultural traditions, including Japanese, Korean, and Vietnamese, point to having isolated places for women. Such spaces were sometimes referred to as inner place, rear place, or forbidden area. When Mongolia conquered China in 1205, they adopted this concept and disseminated it wherever they went. The Ottomans and Mughals, as extensions of the Mongols, based their traditions on ancient Mongol customs, albeit with variations. Additionally, the tawaif courtesan of the Mughal imperial household bears many similarities to a Japanese geisha. The question then arises as to why the Chinese imperials maintained these places. One answer could be Confucianism. The foundational fabric of Chinese society is woven into Confucianism, which thrived in ancient China during 550 BCE and emphasized filial piety as a principle for building a great culture. Filial piety encompasses honoring ancestors, demonstrating love, respect, and support for family members, showing politeness, and maintaining brotherly unity. Another crucial aspect of filial piety was ensuring male heirs to continue the family line. This need for male heirs led to polygamy and the practice of keeping multiple women to ensure there were enough heirs to continue the family line given the risk of child mortality. In the patrilineal nature of Chinese culture, it was essential for a couple to have a son. If a man had no heir, he could take additional wives to improve his chances of fathering a son. However, the practice of polygamy was limited to the wealthy ruling elites, and there were strict rules governing it. The principal wife held a higher rank than the concubines, and there were guidelines to prevent favoritism and emotional attachments. A strict hierarchy was essential for its survival. The Three Rights is a classic of Confucianism that provides a ranking of royal consorts, 1 queen, 2 consorts, 3 madams, 9 concubines, 27 hereditary ladies, and 81 royal wives. This hierarchy aims to prevent the presence of multiple queens or empresses and to ensure filial piety regarding heir and lineage. The Empress Dowager, the emperor's mother or widow, holds absolute power in the royal household, and her position is second to the emperor in many aspects. Similar titles for the empress's mother exist in Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Vietnamese languages, as well as Malka Alia in Mughal and Valid Sultan in the Ottoman Empire. Over time, additional categories were introduced and reordered within the royal consorts, such as learned lady, Bazi, lady of beauty, Marin, lady without impurity, Wujun, lady who pleases the spirit, Yuling, talented woman, Tainu, and others. Despite these changes, the queen retained the highest rank among all royal consorts. During the early imperial period, it was customary for empresses and higher-ranking women to sleep with the emperor during the full moon to ensure strong virtues and attributes in their children, as it was believed that yin and yang were at their peak on those nights. Conversely, lower-ranking women would sleep with the emperor during the new moon to promote good health by maintaining the yin and yang balance of power. In ancient Chinese society, the royal harem primarily utilized dowries rather than importing women from distant regions. The term ying originally referred to individuals or items included in a dowry, such as maids, sisters, or nieces accompanying a bride. The etiquette and ceremonial Yili, Yili, an ancient Chinese text from the 5th to 3rd centuries BCE, uses ing to denote a concubine or a humble person, such as a servant. Women from neighboring regions, such as Korea and Mongolia, were taken as consorts in later periods. A king could have as many women as he wanted. Aristocratic feudal lords were allowed to have 9 consorts, comprising 1 wife and 8 concubines, and could not marry again once they reached this limit. Other officials were permitted 1 wife and 1 concubine, while ordinary citizens were restricted to having only 1 wife. At the heart of Confucianism is the concept of yin and yang, which symbolizes opposing yet complementary forces in Chinese cosmogony, emphasizing balance and harmony in both nature and human existence. However, Taoism later adopted yin and yang, simplifying them into gender stereotypes, which influenced hierarchical gender roles in imperial households and restricted women to roles focused on producing male heirs. When the Mongols invaded China in 1212, they introduced a more open concept regarding women and family. Rooted in their shamanist religion, Mongol society viewed individuals as free and equal. This belief system, suited to their nomadic lifestyle, saw women working alongside men in setting up tents, tending animals, hunting, and managing the family, especially during their husbands' absences. Women had to be independent and self-reliant in maintaining their households. This lifestyle fostered a unique society and culture, which later merged with Chinese Confucianism, evolving into a more complex and transformed culture over the centuries. The Mongols' social structure was based on kinship systems with lineages called bones. Closely related lineages, known as white bones, could not intermarry, while more distant ones, called black bones, could. This network created a sense of unity among tribes and clans. Genghis Khan, the 13th century Mongolian warrior, not only ruled the largest empire in the world, but also significantly contributed to its population. A genetic study found that nearly 8% of men in the former Mongol Empire share nearly identical Y chromosomes, translating to roughly 16 million descendants today. This genetic spread is attributed to the unique cultural and historical circumstances of the Mongol Empire. Mail, National Geographic. Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongol Empire, had many wives and concubines, often princesses or queens from conquered territories. He visited different wives' yurts nightly and took 1 wife on military campaigns, leaving the others to manage the empire. Only Bertes, the queen's sons, could be considered his heirs. He also married 2 daughters of the Tatar ruler, Yesugin and Yesui, who became 2 of his most influential wives. Earlier accounts suggest that Mongolian shamanistic cultures did not view sexuality with shame, and women enjoyed significant freedom. Although Genghis Khan strictly regulated adultery for political discipline, unmarried women had more sexual freedom. The Genghis Khan's Yasa detailed the role of women, polygamy, and their status. Even after adopting Islamic norms, Genghis Khan's descendants, like those in the Ilkhanate, were more relaxed than other Muslim states. This pattern of relative sexual freedom and lack of shame persisted for some time among the Mongols. In conclusion, the concept of harems and royal consorts has a rich and complex history influenced by various cultural, religious, and societal factors. From the Confucian emphasis on filial piety and hierarchical structures in China, to the Mongol influence on gender roles and family structures, these traditions have evolved significantly over time. Understanding these dynamics helps provide a deeper insight into the cultural and historical contexts that shape the roles and perceptions of women in imperial households across different civilizations.